The project, which is a Club of Madrid project with a support from FRIDE, has been a very great success because it was not the kind of one visit, one session, one conference, and all. The idea was a long-range plan to choose 3 countries as specimens of their own areas. I mean, Bahrain as specimen of the countries of the Gulf, the Morocco as specimen of the countries of western part of the Arab world, that is North Africa, and Jordan as representative of the eastern part of the Middle East. So the choice was, I believe, meaningful, and it involved 3 visits at least to the 3 countries, which also involved arranging meetings that were held between government authorities, opposition parties, civil society organizations, and this rotating workshop culminated in a Dead Sea conference last February, and that Islam provides the identity of the majority of people in the area, and to take a position against Islamic identity is very counterproductive and meaningless, and therefore there should be a recognition of all Islamic opinion and parties that are prepared to accept the human rights and the democracy alternative. This is a problem because many regimes, in order to protect themselves, would like to portray all Islamic opinion as if it is undemocratic, and thereby perpetuate their own lack of democracy, using the intimidation about Islam to say to people the alternative to us is undemocratic Islam. But I think that this is a very counterproductive tactic, because it is true now that in many places the only articulate opposition is Islamic. What needs to be done is to address this Islamic political body that, yes, you will be accepted, you will be legitimized, you will be in the political process so long as you accept democracy and plurality, because it is very important. Many people in the West link modernization to secularization. This is a completely mistaken attitude. In fact, Peter Berger, who is one of the founders or the propagators of the idea of secularism, said something very important. He said that we made a category mistake. We thought that the link was between modernization and secularization. In fact, the link is between modernization and pluralism. And this link between modernization and pluralism could very well work with an Islamic point of view, if the Islamic point of view is also prepared to accept pluralism. And this is where I believe it is necessary to resolve this problem of secularism, modernization, Islamization, in a way that would make it possible for political opinion that is Islamic and that is prepared to accept modernization and to accept pluralism to be welcome in the political process. First of all, it is clear to us that in many instances the countries involved did not like foreign intervention or foreign mediation because maybe they thought that the foreigners are meddling. But for the Club of Madrid, they have made an exception. They welcomed the Club of Madrid in spite of the fact that Club of Madrid is also composed of expatriates. Anyway, I thought this was an important breakthrough. Secondly, they did not mind the Club of Madrid addressing political parties that are opposition political parties. Again, this is a very important step in the right direction. Thirdly, they did not mind attending meetings between themselves and opposition forces in the presence of the Club of Madrid members, in which the two sides spoke very candidly and openly and transparently about their problems. This again was an important achievement in this respect. You see, the whole point now is, as I felt, the need to end the kind of dead end into which opposition and government are locked, as the different state authorities have reached a threshold. The Islamic parties have also reached a threshold where they have to choose between two very specific programs. The program of the reactionaries who leap backwards, who speak now in terms of Al-Qaeda's ideas, and therefore they express a leap backwards. The other alternative is a leap forward that accepts democracy, that accepts modernization, and that marries democratization and modernization to Islamic reference. This threshold also has to be crossed. Some are leaping backwards, reactionaries, some are leaping forwards, the progressives. And my only hope for the area is that countries, states that have reached the end of their tether in terms of democratization decide to move forward, to accept separation of powers, to accept basic freedoms, to accept human rights and so on, and this to ally with political or Islamic movements that have also decided to leap forward in terms of accepting modernization, democratization, and so on. And the misfortune of the area would be if the state powers refuse any kind of reform, which will simply empower the reactionaries. Yeah. And what is needed, therefore, is to realize that there is a holy alliance between state reform that accepts democratization and Islamic movements that also accept modernization and democratization, and there is an unholy alliance, although it may not be an alliance, but a de facto alliance between an arrested reform in the different countries and the opportunities made available for the reactionaries.
Yeah.